Welcome everyone. For this video, we're going to take another look at the linear method with a second example, working it through from the start to the finish. Just as a reminder, this linear method, what does it do? Finds the equations, the equation for a raw set of data and makes a connection between the dependent and independent variables that you have. As a reminder, some bits that you need nearby are the parent graphs, their shapes, and the functions that go along with them. You also need to remember the slope equation. Pay careful attention to updating x when we get to that step. And what I can also add is that don't forget to use some technology that's out there. We're creating some graphs. We can do it by hand, but that can be a struggle. So don't forget, you have your calculators available, you have Desmos available, and other graphing software available on the web. Feel free to use it. Okay. Let's take a look at this second example and enjoy the process of working through it. We got this here. Now, that's a 0.5 in the x location there. Now I'm going to point out I set it up there by design so that the question works. But I would like to point out that if you have weird numbers and weird decimals, well, you're kind of stuck with them. So you got to drag them through, continue through with them through the process as best as you can. All right, so with that in mind, let's go to the first step, which is to take this raw data and create a graph. Nice. So I do that. Create a graph of these results here. A good looking one, of course. Goes all the way over to 8. So we'll put along the x. So we'll put an 8 there. And notice 4 is half of 8, 2 is half of 4. I made that so just so you can create the graph easily. Split it up into halves and then halves of halves. That'll be if that's a 4, then that's a 6, that's a 2. If that's a 2, we got the 1 in there. And then the half, it's useful for the style, but it's tightly in there, so we'll get to that. And we'll do the same trick with the y. Put 16 up there. Half it along the way. Happens to be the same numbers. So that'll be an 8. What'll that be? 12, I suppose. I'm not going to write it in, but you can. What'll this be? 4? Oh, it's probably more like 3. That's off a little bit. Make it fat to save that point. All right, and then of course our origin down there. So plotting these in, and I guess, and remember, with your calculator, it can be done in seconds. With Desmos, you can actually enter these coordinates individually, and they'll come up with little dots. Okay, so then you can easily see what the shape is going to be like. Okay, I just happen to like the style of the pen and such, and so I'm going to work through it like this. But yes, with a little more speed. When we have an x value of 8, we have a y value of 1. So that's 4, so 1 is about at the top of that mark there. Check mark to show some consideration was given. X is 4, it's 2, so a little bit higher than the 1, which might just mean a fatter dot, but a little bit higher at the x equals 4 location. When x is equal to 2, well, we can mark that. There's a lot of space there. It's a 6. When x is 2, we're up to 4, which is that fat dash there now. When x is 1, halfway in between, we jump up to 8. And if we're jumping up, getting close to the y-axis here, hopefully by now you figured out what this thing is. Or more precisely, what the parent function is, and also what the shape of this graph is. When x is 0.5, which is half of the right in here, that gets us all the way up to the 16 mark. So I could try and sketch it in, but you know how that can go sometimes. So we get our shape showing up like this, which has the name of hyperbola. Grade 12s, comes from the rational functions. And so it has the parent function of 1 over x. In other words, the y values, they look like it depends on 1 over x. We'll have to check. Right? Officially, it could be 1 over x squared, where it would be a steeper drop here. 1 over x cubed, even more steep, right? Okay, but for our purposes, I'm thinking I'm going to go with this as a guess, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be right. So what does that mean? Great, we figured it out. Update the x. Take some care with this step here, because it's 1 over x now, which means it's 1 over x, which means we're going to do reciprocals of each of these and try and fit them all in here and then get a good looking picture. So just to make sure the space works, let's do it number by x first, and we'll get it set up. So 1 over 0.5. I'm glad you all said 2, because that's what it is. 1 over 1. Well, that's just 1. 1 over 2. That's 0.5. Now 1 over 4 is 0.25. And 1 over 8 is 0.125. So I'm going to try and squeeze it in at an angle there, 0.125. But honestly, when we come graphing, at least by hand, when I come graphing to this, that point's going to be too small to use in my picture here. However, with technology, absolutely. Put it in there, you'll be able to, it'll be there, and the computer will recognize it and do some things with it there. Well, the y values, those are nice. They don't change. Just goes across. 16 was with the first location, 8, and then a 4, and then a 2, and then a 1 with this 0.125 in microscript there. What are we going for at this location? Going for a line, hoping it's a line. So you make the graph. Notice the x values now only go up to 2. So I'm going to make this really fat. I'm going to put a 2 way over there. Split it in half to get the 1, which is somewhere about there, I guess. Split it in half again to get the 0.5s, and then that should be good enough for this construction. Same trick, go up to 16, split it in half, 8. We'll get our 12 again and our 4 again, just like over here. Remember, the y's don't change, so in this direction it's the same. So let's put them in. 2 and 16. I'm hoping somewhere there. 1 and 8. Somewhere there. 0.5. An awkward point, but hey, it's one of them and we need to get this line, so let's put it in there. And then 0.25 we could get in there. And that's at a 2. So remember, this is 8, that's a 4, so the 2 is a half in there. Halfway mark there, and also 0.25 is the halfway mark there. And that's all I want to do. This can fit at the halves inside of there. Super tiny. But laying it down, of course. Nice. That'll do. That'll do for today. What's the goal? To get this looking like a line. Does this look like a line? It looks like a line. So we can proceed. To do what? Get the slope. I'm running out of space, but this is so important, I'm putting it in there. What? The formula. When? Always. Okay, always put that in there. Shows what you're thinking and allows you to check your work afterwards. I mean, especially with all these decimals. Just got to watch and be careful. Now it says choose numbers that are easy and also far apart. I don't know which ones to use for this one. That one's out there. 2 and 16, those are nice numbers. That's getting far. Halfway. But then I got decimals and stuff. You know, I'm just going to do this. If you're adventurous, you can choose these other ones. You can choose those two. So for the y value here, we have 16. And its x value is 2. And this y value here is 8. And the x value there is 1. Remember, it looks like 1 over x, but just the new x. I call it updated, but new x might be nice too if you want to write that in there. What do we get? We get 16 minus 8, 8. 2 minus 1, 1. We get that the slope is going to equal 8. The magic number that makes the particular connection between these particular sets of data here, or this full set of data, however you want to look at it. Okay, so what do? Y is equal to slope times, I'm calling it the parent function. It's pretty long, so I can also call it updated x. That fits better, even though I actually prefer parent function because it goes back and forces you to check with the original picture, which started this whole process. But anyways, as long as we put it in correctly, we're going to be all right. Y is our y variable. Slope is 8. The parent function, the updated x, is 1 over x. And I would show it first and then do it later. So I show that we put it in place. Then, of course, update this so that this looks like a normal equation. Y is equal to 8 over x. I want to do that, but as I was thinking, you can always check along the way with the original data. This is the equation for the original data, so it should work. So if x is equal to 8, put 8 in there. 8 divided by 8, 1. That's all right. If x is 4, put 4 in there. 8 divided by 4, 2. That's also looking good. So good people, I'm going to leave the rest up to you. And I'm going to be reasonably confident that this is the solution that we're looking for. Okay, as a recommendation again, take some time to stop it. That is, stop the video, back it up, set it up to the initial data only, and then try and work it out on your own a couple of times. You've probably done a few with the earlier example, so this one is probably a bit easier. So I'm going to conclude it there, and you're invited to join me at the next video, which will show the one other function that comes up, the eyebrow. Take care.